It's Project Mania in the Dirthead Shed. Alright, I'm making bad decisions, hopefully good ones, kind of risky decisions. I am about to throw a tow bar on this rig and drive down to Boise tomorrow to pick up a truck for a new project. So, more about the truck later. Right now, let's go build a tow bar or modify a tow bar I just picked up at Harbor Freight. It's go time. I'm gonna make that thing fit on that thing. Luckily, this thing has pockets from a tow bar and wiring from a previous owner. So, hopefully, this isn't super difficult. I'm gonna unbox that, and then we'll probably just have to make some adapter chingaderas that go from that to that. 1.5 round is gonna work totally fine. I have this like super heavy wall stuff. I think this is 1.5 inch 188 wall DOM or chromoly. So I will use this. Basically just need to drill a hole through the side of it so that I can use a pin that'll hold it in place. And I will weld some sort of bracket across the front, and we'll have a pretty quick and easy deal going on here. Let me cut a couple pieces. Always sand off the sharp edges as soon as you're done with the chop saw, just so you don't cut your hand when you're trying to work with it. We've got the tubing cut. This is actually really cool. It's like heavy wall DOM. I think it came from a steering, like heavy duty steering kit that I had for one of my rigs. So put that in there. And then I'm just going to take my Sharpie and mark where the hole is for the pen to go through. So now I've got my mark there. I'm going to go run this over to the drill press and run it out to 5/8 of an inch. And that'll allow me to use these regular pens that you'd use in your regular trailer hitch. Oh, jeez. It's definitely fighting me. It always does. Let's try this one. It's a little lighter fit. Haha! Alright, that's a win. That'll just be like a normal trailer fitment. Alright, I'm gonna go drill the other side to match. Cool. There they are. This is the starting point of the job. I went ahead and sanded the scale off on the tubing. The DOM tubing has basically like a coating on it from when they do the drawn over mandrel process, and if you sand that off you get a little bit better weld. So these are the fun little projects to do where it's like make something cool, make it quick, don't overthink it because you got to get it done. Let's grab a tape and kind of figure out how wide we want to make our angle iron piece. Looks like 24 is probably fine. Maybe go 25 just to give it a little extra overhang. Let's go find some, we're looking for some probably 2-inch heavy wall angle iron, which I have some right there. Come over here and grind up the razor edges. Perfect. Alright, I got the brackets all sanded up. I'm going to weld those on. I think I'm actually going to scoot them all the way out to the edges. I was going through the instructions and it says that these things need to be no less than 40, or sorry, they're less than 43 apart but more than 24 apart. So this thing probably needs all these pushed all the way to the edges just so that there's enough triangulation. So I'm going to tack those on. I'll probably weld them all the way on and then I'll weld them to the other tubes. I want to have these welded on first just because it's probably going to warp something. So if it's warped ahead of time, then when I weld it on here, it'll stay, these will at least stay parallel to each other. That way this thing can slide in and out without too much hassle. I don't know that there's anything worse than welding on Harbor Freight powder coat. You can sand this stuff off, sand it off, sand it off, sand it off, but somehow it always welds a little weird. It always welds a little bit weird and you have to, oh geez, I just screwed that up. Alright, cool. We are getting it now. That's all welded up. Doesn't look great, but it's not too bad. I plug welded those where the holes were for the bolts. So I think we basically just put this up on here and center it up and tack that in place, and then I'll pull it off and I'll weld it. And we can paint it and call that tow bar thing done. I was just standing back looking at that and I'm like, dang, if I wanted to put like a removable light bar on here, that would be super cool. Since it's already got those pockets in there, I could just make another bar that like slides right in and has a couple off-road lights on it. Pull those off when you want to flat tow it and put them back on when you're wheeling. That'd be cool. I let that cool down long enough to where I can get it up in there without burning my hands. This is pretty cool. Throw a tape on there and make sure I got about the same stick out on each side. I just want to get a good one in like 3 spots. Cool. Looks like we got some good tacks on there. Let's pull the pins and see if this thing comes out. A little difficult to get my hand in there with the angle iron going all the way across, but I really feel like it's going to make it stronger in the long run. Cool. There it is. I'm going to weld this up real good and we'll refit it and see how it works out. Sweet. That's it. That's the tow bar adapter bracket. Will it fit? It fits. This is awesome. Cool. think that thing's done drying. Take it out of the paint booth and we will put it on the rig. Let's get this in place, bolt it up, and then we will figure out the tow bar stuff. I got a bunch of supplies kind of ready to go, different trailer hitches. I'm taking this max tie down like hitch vise just in case I need to work on something. Chains, wrenches, all of that. Alright, we're cruising the XL7 down to Boise, Idaho to go pick up this project truck. I got Hazel in the back seat with me. She's not very good at car rides, but I didn't really feel like leaving her at home all day. So we got about, it's like gonna be a legit 14-hour day on the road trying to get this truck back to my house. So we'll see how it goes. If all goes well, we're gonna just hook this tow bar up that I brought with me and chains and wiring, and we're just gonna yank the old XL7 home with the new project truck. We'll see how it goes. Suzuki's doing good. It's getting terrible gas mileage, but that's what this thing does. Looks like I got about 275 miles to go. It's gonna be a long day. Oh my gosh, this is rad. What a view. How you doing, Hayes? Smelling the paper mill? Always stink. I keep saying this is an awesome drive. This part right here is probably the best part of driving south through Idaho. I just passed through the Hells Canyon area and now I'm heading towards Riggins. Riggins is this cool little town that has this ski bum vibe, but it's all like river rats. They do rafting trips and camping, and there's all kinds of cool little shops in town. So we're going to be rolling up to that pretty soon and cruising next to the old Salmon River. It's pretty rad. Sorry if this dirt head shed's basically just like David's summer vacation, but it's a rad drive, so you guys should probably get a chance to see it. Bunch of people going rafting. What a rad town. Alright, more beautiful drive through Idaho. I am about 60 miles north of Boise where I'm going to pick this thing up. So, getting stoked. I'm excited to see what I'm getting into. Hopefully it's a good truck, because kind of gotta be. Test drive's gonna be dragging the Suzuki home. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad idea, but look at the drive. Alright, we're getting close to picking up the truck. We're like 2 miles out. I'll show you guys the rig when I pull up, but I'm probably not gonna sit there and hold a GoPro while I buy the thing. So we'll pick up after I check this thing out. Hopefully it's good. It looks good in pictures, but they all kind of look good in pictures, right? Ooh, there it is. Let's hope this thing is good. Oh, it's cool. Alright, here it is. 08 Super Duty Standard Cab. V10, 140K. Let's see if it's as good as I hope. Alright, let me catch you up to speed. I went over there, I looked at the truck. The truck's really good. I bought it, signed the paperwork. The trailer hitch has a lock on it, so I wasn't able to put my tow bar on it. So I just ran over to Harbor Freight, had to buy a Sawzall. So I'm in process of running back. Seems like every time I go anywhere I end up having to go to the hardware store or something and buy a tool to make something happen. So I got a saw, I got blades, I got cut off wheels because the gal's husband does have a grinder. So I just got to get back to the house there and cut the trailer hitch lock off so I can flip it from 2 5/16 to 2 inch so I can put my tow bar on this thing so that we can haul it home. All's good. Just minor hiccup. I'm just going to be an extra hour late getting home is all. And that's if everything goes smooth, which it should. Got 2 blades left. They really don't want you stealing these things. Cool. 2 inch. Piece of cake, right? All right, you're on the line with Dave. I've got my camera going. And we are about to do the very first test of seeing if I'm flat towing my Suzuki properly.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You flat towing it with the new red Ford?
Yes, I am.
Good deal.
So far, I've made it out of the lady's driveway, and the tires aren't all locked up, and it hasn't flipped on its side yet, so that's good.
Yeah, it's all rolling.
Yep.
That sounds proper.
I'm just trying to get around the corner so I can go and check everything out. I felt bad, like the truck had a trailer hitch on it, a flip over trailer hitch, a 3-sided one with a lock on it, but she didn't have a key, so I had to go to Harbor Freight and buy a Sawzall so I could cut the pin, and then I was in the driveway pulling the drive shaft out of the dang thing, so because I couldn't get the transfer case into neutral. So I'm just trying to get around the corners. What's that?
I said you've had an eventful day just trying to get going.
Oh my gosh, I got on the road at 3:45 this morning.
Good Lord.
This is ridiculous. Hi Hazel. We made it to the first gas stop in the new Ford truck. I am pretty stoked on the truck. I'm pretty sure it's gonna do fine. I'm a little more concerned about this Suzuki behind us. It's pretty rad. There's the gas pump that was in a red long bed F-150 dent side. So anywho, I am gonna keep pulling on this Suzuki, try and make some miles. I got 350 miles to go. So we gotta get a lot of that done, so I'm not driving home in the dark. The lights aren't working on the Suzuki, so I need to get to a spot where I can pull over in the shade and crawl under there and work on it for a minute, figure out what's going on. Hopefully it's just a fuse on the Ford truck here. So, all right, I'm gonna try and make a couple miles. That was a little stressful the first little bit because I haven't ever flat towed that thing, and I really don't want to blow it up because that thing's like a good little rig. So all right, Hazel and I are going to chow down on some gas station pizza and sunflower seeds, and we'll be back in a minute. There it is. I can finally really show you guys. I felt bad working on this thing at the lady's house and then trying to film it as well. There's my setup, towing the Suzuki. I've got to try and get the trailer light wiring working. The lights tested out fine, the wiring tested fine yesterday in the shop, but for some reason I'm not getting power at the plug back here. But look at that, 2008 F-250 Super Duty, Triton V10, automatic 4-wheel drive, Super 60 front. This thing is gonna be rad. What a cool truck. It's not in bad shape. No rust that I can see. It's got some like regular dents and dings that any truck would have that gets used, but all in all, this thing is super clean. The little tow bar setup on the Suzuki's working good. Definitely weird towing with it the first time. I was paranoid that it was just going to be tearing the transfer case out or something. So yeah, I'm gonna go take the dog down here to the river and check this stuff out real quick, and then I'm gonna work on some trailer wiring real quick. There's the shot I was going for. What a beautiful spot. The river is raging. So fun. I'm so glad I took the back way down to Boise. I haven't figured out the... Ooh, it's hot in here. I have not figured out the trailer wiring yet, but I did notice that this thing was a little low in oil when I checked it out, so I'm going to top it off. This bottle as a funnel because my other bottle is a gallon. Let me go grab that. Hopefully we're showing on the dipstick now. That's about 2 quarts in it. Whew. It's hot out here. I was trying to find some shade but couldn't. Where are we at? Low. That ain't good. Now we've poured about 2.5 quarts in. There we go. Still 3/4 of a quart low. Well, I don't think it was low enough to where it was going to cause any damage to the engine. So, even if it did, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm going to go ahead and button this up in here. And then I think I'm going to try something with the ground wire for the trailer wiring and see if we can figure it out. So this is my trailer wiring, just a regular 4-blade flat over here to a 4-pin round on the rig. I tested it without a ground yesterday, and the trailer lights, the lights on the Suzuki worked fine, but they aren't working today. So I'm hooking up this last white wire ground and hoping that that'll complete the circuit and get it to where we got lights, because I will be dragging this thing home in the dark at this point. So let's test it out. That should be good to go now. I should be able to just go in here and hit the hazards on the tow rig. Hazards are flashing there. They're not flashing there. What is going on? Why are we not getting power out of this thing? I I guess what we need to do is make some miles and just get as far as we can with what we got. I'm gonna plug this back in. And see if we can hit the road and get as far as we can before we lose daylight. Put my tools away. Make sure this thing is closed up good. Kind of bummed about the wiring, but that's just kind of how it's going to be. We're going to figure it out as we go. All right, Hazel's ready to roll. She probably needs more water. Oh, Hazel. There you go, hon. Down. I got 120 miles to go. All in all, I think this is a rad trip to go pick up this truck. It's proven its worth dragging home another vehicle. I mean, can't beat that. Going by something you've never even seen before and be able to drag your daily driver home with it is pretty rad. So keep watching. This thing is going to get a bunch of videos done on it at the Dirt Head Shed, but they are going to be produced and they're going to be filmed by Cameron, so they'll actually be really nice videos, not this junk with me holding a GoPro while I'm driving down the highway. Anywho, I hope y'all had a great 4th of July. I know I did. This was a great trip. Got to hang out with my dog all day and buy a new truck and get started on a new project. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.